For most of the time humans have wandered the earth, the night sky has mystified us. Only in the last few decades have we done so much to obscure the heavens.
As I've, like everyone else, struggled with the questions of existence, the expansion of the universe characterizes the existence of reality more than anyone else. I come to you to help understand that.
I think that the discovery of the expansion of the universe is one of the most profound discoveries, human discoveries of all time.
Physicists are excited, and they say this could be a major breakthrough in our understanding of the universe.
New findings from a recent scientific experiment in the United States could impact our understanding about the laws of physics.
20 years ago when we did it, it bothered me. I'm like, how can we be in a universe that has a beginning, has no end, and we live in this special time where we can measure it? And I find that very perplexing. I mean, you never want to be at a special time, but it does seem like the world we're in.
I was going to show you a lovely picture. Should I just quickly do it?
Go on. Go
this
on.
is the Milky Way. Look at that, glowing above Corfe Castle in Dorset. And there's, Carol's been talking about clear skies. Absolutely stunning picture there.
Now, normally you would expect that expansion slows down with time because of gravity. Right? Gravity attracts, and therefore galaxies would fly away slower and slower. However, this is not what we observe, and that was one of the great surprises in astronomy.
I think it's one of the great surprises in human history, in the human history of science.
I would think so. It was a very unexpected development, I would say, for most people.
We need to also remember in Belgium in 1927, Georges Lemaître, who you talked about earlier, but Georges Lemaître showed him his PhD thesis, which he was working on at MIT remotely. He basically showed, here, look at the data of Hubble and Slipher, the universe is expanding, here's the equations that I have derived, and Einstein reportedly said, he said something, you are a much better mathematician than a physicist, or something like that.
Yeah, I think he said your math is correct, but your physics is abominable. I mean, I think if I went to Einstein with an idea and Einstein told me that my physics was abominable, I probably would have changed careers or hidden under a rock or something. But, you know, that isn't the case with, Georges Lemaître. I mean, he actually stays with it and pushes this idea forward.
Yeah. And yeah, he was, I said, it must have been an interesting character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's unusual to have, training in physics and to be ordained. The Pope at the time, I forget which Pope it was, got wind of his work in cosmology and described it as giving a confirmation of the story of Genesis. And this, to Lemaitre, was absolutely mortifying because he had diligently and carefully drawn a line between his theological, his religious side of his being and this sort of scientific side. Now, if you're going to do work in science that has to do with the origin of the universe, you shouldn't be too surprised that it's going to be, crossing over. But it was something that he found very difficult when the religious community kind of glommed onto his work as some kind of confirmation of the ideas in the Bible.
When the universe was created by
Poor Georges Lemaître, who did everything, gets pipped at the post by Hubble 2 years later, who did a lot of the hard observational work, but
The discovery of the expansion completely revolutionized our thinking about the universe. Suddenly, the universe no longer is static and unchanging. We had thought that only 400 years earlier that the sun was the center of the universe. We'd only recently learned at the beginning of the last century that the sun is not the center of the universe. But not only that.
We have the universe expanding.
The universe is expanding.
Without limit.
And it's accelerating in its expansion, which is important for this whole picture. It wouldn't work otherwise. And this is this mysterious thing that people worry about. They call it dark energy.
that there are other galaxies in addition to our own Milky Way galaxy. There are probably 100 billion such galaxies that are taking part in an overall expansion of space. Space is dynamic, it changes over time, means in a sense we can run the movie back in reverse and learn something about the origin of the universe.
So instead of getting slower, the expansion actually gets faster. And
now we can't attribute that to the Big Bang because that's over.
That's right. So there is some force that pushes the universe to expand faster and faster.
By January, February-ish of '98, the team is convinced that you've got a shocker of a result.
One of the interesting things that had happened is on the 8th of January, we told our team, my God, the universe appears to be accelerating. On the 9th of January, at least my time, this is Australian time, Saul Perlmutter showed preliminary results at the American Astronomical Conference, which basically showed an accelerating universe.
So it was one of the most profound, in my view, discoveries of all time, and completely changes our own perspective as human beings.
I've certainly felt that way, and therefore I think it's really important that we want to understand how this happened, how this revolution in thinking happened.
It's a story that's truly out of this world.
Navy ships and pilots capturing images about their experiences with what they claim are UFOs.
UFOs are real, and they are here, but we don't know who they are or the intent.
Counterfeit signs? Counterfeit wonders? This word wonder, teros in the Greek, means something so strange as to cause it to be watched or observed. An unusual sign, especially one in the heavens. You'll see unusual signs in the heavens. And I would suggest to you that, in my opinion, that what people are seeing in these spacecrafts, aircrafts, flying things over, this thing and that thing, are angels, demonic angels, fallen angels, who are seeking to deceive and mislead people. A people who are wowed and worship technology. Satan will present himself as a technological wonder.
For a long time, you see, if anybody had asked me what happened before the Big Bang, I would have given the conventional answer, which is the Big Bang was this singular state when all our equations go haywire and time and space, doesn't make any sense. Even the question before doesn't mean anything, you see. So that's the conventional answer. You say, you can't talk about it, it's just a meaningless question.
There is no before.
There is no before.